Good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, wherever you may be watching this transmission on this great planet of ours. Thank you for joining me here on the Mike Martin's channel. Guys, don't forget to join me tonight for Trends in the Housing Market, where usually we take call-ins tonight. We'll be taking a few call-ins tonight, see if we can get a few guests on the show. We've been having a good record amount of cool guests from all over the world. We had Uneducated Economist, we had the McChronicle on, we get Steve the Plumber on from time to time. We got Supreme Canon on. We're going to see if we're going to get Mr. X from Vancouver on. We're going to see if we could get Stevie Thomas from Melbourne, Australia, to give us a download on what's happening. So, guys, Trends in the Housing Market, the longest running live stream housing discussion, hours. Good information if you guys go back, way back, and actually track back the progress of what's been happening, trend forecasting in the housing market. So what's happening, guys? Well, again, back to BC. I just did a video 10 minutes ago about how BC's average rent is going to this, across the province, is going through this phenomenal, exorbitant, crazy, ludicrous cost of just absolutely. We did some calculations at a TDS at 45%. And man, people really need either go into heavy debt just to live a basic life. And that's the problem we're having here. And it's the same patterns we're seeing across the Commonwealth. Same thing in Australia, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, all of Canada, and Western United States. And Western United States is the gateway to China, right? The mystery of the Orient. Well, it's no mystery anymore because it's everywhere now. Now, what's happening, guys? Well, this is a very interesting and very important. I had Moby on the show on Trends in the Housing Market about a year and a half ago. Let's see if I could even find the episode. I think it's Open Lines. It's one of these episodes here where I get Moby on. And, oh, that's 2017. Let me go up. It was 2018 where I get Moby on. And what I did was we discussed my main discussion point, or my point I was trying to get across, is we were discussing the mass exodus of people leaving Vancouver. Right? So let me bring this up here. Okay, right, Whites and Aboriginals. This is a very important article by Douglas Todd by the Vancouver Sun. This one I bring up as a key pinnacle because this is the key pinnacle. This was updated on March 12th. The article is a little bit older than this. And it basically states Aboriginals, whites leaving Metro Vancouver for other regions of BC, particularly to live in the Fraser Valley, Vancouver Island, and Okanagan, according to Stats Canada. So a net total of 9,345 whites and 460 Indigenous people left the Metro for other parts of the province. Now, what's happening with this? It's creating this displacement effect so that when people arrive in cities like mine, I'm one of these people, I'm one of these migrants that did leave the big city because I refused to pay $1.6 million for a teardown bungalow. I just outrightly refused to pay that much. So what did I do? What was the next best thing to do? Well, move away or move back to Europe, right? So we decided to move 2.5 hours away from the city, and it's been amazing. It's been incredible. I got a town stalker. We got a town community here. It's just how I remembered Canada when I was a child. Just like the whole, everybody just talking to each other. I go to the pharmacy, everybody knows me. It's great. I love it. It's like, oh, hi, Mike. I watched you on YouTube yesterday. Keep up the good work. I love it. And the old folk, calling over the phone. Yeah. Anyways, so Douglas Todd, Aboriginals and whites leaving Metro Vancouver. So now what's happened? Well, they're going to have to raise property tax. But you're saying, well, Mike, what does that have to do with one or the other? This is my theory and what I believe. Just hold, the same thing happened in Sydney and the same thing happened in Auckland in New Zealand, where people were leaving the more expensive cities into other areas. But Sydney got to a point where so many people left, like Australian proper left, but the ones that actually contributed to the infrastructure, they moved to places like Hobart. Some of them are even going out to Perth now because it's still reasonable up the Sunshine Coast there. Now, what's happened now is with Vancouver and all these major cities, London, same thing. Everyone moved to Middle England. All the millennials or anyone that's got some education said, we're done with this high cost of living. Now, who's going to flip the deficits? Who's going to pay for the garbage, the police, the hospitals, the this, the that, the that, the that? Who's going to pay for all that? The street cleaning. That all comes at municipal level funding and taxation at the municipal level, right? Provincial level sometimes drop some money in to help out certain cities. But what I'm afraid of is they're going to start taking money from the smaller cities away, like where I'm living, to help fund and keep Vancouver going. And that's not fair when we have infrastructure that needs repair here. So I'm afraid now it's going to get to that point. So who's going to fund the infrastructure when people that don't live in these cities anymore have mass exodus, is it? Now we have this empty home, like 100,000 plus empty homes, condos, townhomes across Vancouver. How are they going to, you see, if you could get 3 working residents per empty units in Vancouver, they wouldn't have to raise property tax because they'll be spending, and there'll be different areas there will be spending in the municipalities, whether it's through transit or other buying. So people like bus fares, people buying like bus fares are going down, or monthly bus passes are going down because the people that couldn't afford to drive at the time bought, but then those people said, screw you, I'm moving away. And then now you're starting to see things go down and the funding is not there anymore, right? So Vancouver approves a 7% property tax hike 2020 budget. Vancouver News 11:30. Vancouver City Council has approved a 7% property tax increase along with its 2020 budget. After some back and forth on the tax, councillors settled on a number lower than 8.2% initially proposed. It comes after a large outcry by homeowners. Now, are homeowners being punished for owning now? I think so. The people that have been watching this on the sidelines trying to buy into the market and didn't buy in, and then other people that basically didn't buy in and watched it now are watching the people that own get punished with skyrocketing property taxes, skyrocketing cost of living. And some council members, the number is still more than twice as much as the average increase in the city of Vancouver. Councillor Melissa says she would have liked to see the tax come down a bit more. I would not have been able to tolerate much more over 4.5%, but in the spirit of trying to come together with council, had we had 5% in front of us, some of us voting may have been different, she says. That being said, we have 7%. That's very concerning to me, as Vancouver continually ranks as one of the least affordable cities. Giovanna adds that she's concerned an increase in property tax will cause landlords to boost rents, of course. And I just read that article that rents are going to be going up substantially in the province of British Columbia to try to cover the cost, causing more strain on renters. I've heard from folks that they're really scared that they will be evicted, that they will be pushed out of their homes, so landlords will be able to increase to meet the property tax rates. We've heard it from people who would need to do that to be able to afford their homes, she says. So then it's not necessarily the landlord's fault either. The landlord, majority of them are Canadian proper that have property in Canada that are being basically, that had to, a lot of them bought into their equity or took from their equity to live the high life, and now a lot of them are in trouble. Okay? And what do they do? There's no aggregation there to take in from the landlord when it comes a spike in price or a hike in something. There's no aggregation to fall back on and say, I don't need to raise their rent. I'm still making $800 profit or $600 profit a month off this property. I don't mind eating another $100 a month. That's okay with me, right? But they're not at that point. They're at that point where they're an aggregation of $9 balance in between. So a lot of people are in a negative position with these rentals. Meantime, Vancouver Police Chief Adam Palmer is praising the police budgets, saying it allows the force to hire 25 officers and 10 new civilian employees in 2020. So, yeah, this stuff has to pay for this stuff. But the problem is, when you have 20, 30, 40,000 empty homes in Vancouver, or slash homes, condos, whatever, with no hookups, no electricity, no nothing going to them, it starts taxing and adding up over time. And the municipalities are getting fed up. And who pays for it? The people that didn't buy into this mess are actually paying for it in the end. That's kind of funny and ironic, right? And with all the banking fiasco that's going on, who do you think is going to pay for that? The people that didn't buy into this. Yeah. Guys, don't forget to watch Trends in the Housing Market. Tonight, we're going to be live again, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Trends in the Housing Market. It is a really good episodes, man. We go back and back. Look at all the months and years we go back doing this show with different guests coming on the show from all over the world. I'm going to pre-contact a few people tonight, people we haven't had on the show in a while that have been messaging me to come back. I'm feeling better now. That bug that I had is just, my mom's got it now. So I'm going to be helping her out to get over this bug for the next couple of days. My wife had it. She's better now. So it's this bug that's floating through this town. I don't know if it's passing through or what's happening, but a lot of us are getting better, and it's been really bad. I haven't been uploading as much as I used to. Trends in the Housing Market, guys, tonight. Oh, it's such a good show. We got people calling from all over the place. We got guests from all over the place.
I don't know how we've done it for so long. Honestly. I mean, it's crazy. It's honestly just crazy when you really think of, when you
don't know about
cost of care.
And then we got other guests on the show here.
Especially retail to renovate
from the United States.
Their liabilities, their cash they need in order to cover this shadow banking system.
Oh, we covered all. Guys, don't forget to join me tonight. We'll have open lines. And 7% property tax hike. It's coming to a city near you. Let me know what you guys think. In Australia, they're kind of lucky because they pay stamp duty. They're kind of lucky there in Australia. So let me know what you guys think. Comment below. I love you guys so much. And yeah, let me know. Thanks for watching.